Shalom, brothers and sisters. Welcome to another Hidden Truth, and we're going to be talking about global warming and how it affects the earth. I know there's a lot of our people that don't even understand this concept of global warming and where it came from. Well, let's give some edification and some basics of global warming.
The main cause is a phenomenon known as the greenhouse effect. Gases in the atmosphere, such as water vapor, carbon dioxide, methane, nitrous oxide, and chlorofluorocarbons, let the sun's light in, but keep some of the heat from escaping, like the glass walls of a greenhouse. The more greenhouse gases in the atmosphere, the more heat gets trapped, strengthening the greenhouse effect and increasing the Earth's temperature. Human activities, like the burning of fossil fuels, have increased the amount of CO2 in the atmosphere by more than a third since the Industrial Revolution.
The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinance, broken the everlasting covenant.
We have to remember when our brothers, the Native Americans, were here in America and how they dealt with the land, the air, the trees, the animals, the water, all these natural resources. We understood on how to deal with the earth. It wasn't until the so-called white man got to America and misused all these natural resources, from the water, eating all the things that are in the water that were going to clean the water, from the land, taking all these animals that were supposed to be used to clean the land and for the right purpose, they eat those. From the air, they cut down all the trees, and what do? They make this a concrete jungle, and now the air is defiled, the earth is defiled, the land is defiled. And now we see why, because they have transgressed every law in the Bible. Their logic and their way is not the Lord's way, but look at the repercussions. Let's go on.
The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudent.
Do you believe in God?
Me?
Creator?
So I'm the more I look at the universe, just the less convinced I am that there is something benevolent going on.
The fool hath said in his heart, there is no God. They are corrupt. They have done abominable works. There is none that doeth good. So
Neil deGrasse is supposed to be one of their great scientists of this time. And now we're seeing where their minds have taken us, all their inventions and tools and everything they use, the non-biodegradable products that they created. We see that their wisdom is not wisdom. Their intellect is not intellect. It's because of them the earth is being broken down. It doesn't mean the earth is going to be destroyed, but through their inventions, they definitely have punished us more and more, food-wise, health-wise, living-wise, and the earth is feeling that.
And this my son shall rebuke the wicked inventions of those nations, which for their wicked life are fallen into the tempest.
But what about us? How will a changing climate impact our physiology?
In urban areas, the warmer atmosphere creates an environment that traps and increases the amount of smog. Exposure to higher levels of smog can cause health problems such as asthma, heart disease, and lung cancer.
The most dangerous air pollutants for our health are particles. Particles can be made of different substances and have different sizes. It's actually the smallest, invisible, ultrafine particles, commonly found in vehicle emissions, that are the most harmful. These particles are small enough to travel deep into our lungs and even into our bloodstream. There, they play havoc with the cardiovascular system, changing the rhythm of the heart, thickening the blood, making arteries more stiff, and even leading to cardiovascular disease. So, reducing emissions will improve the health of the planet and us.
So this is what happens when the wicked run and rule the earth. Their godless mentality and their so-called science has destroyed all of these natural resources. Now, where they are wrong at is that the earth is not going to last. We're only going to survive a certain amount of time. Check this out.
One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever.
Now we see the earth will last. Even though man has defiled the earth and polluted the earth and destroyed a lot of the natural resources, we also can understand why the Lord is intervening. He has to stand up against a lot of these things done to the earth, because if you left it up to them, they will destroy humanity. So the Lord is intervening with all the earthquakes, the famines, the pestilence, to destroy the wicked off of the earth. Let's go into this.
And I will punish the world for their evil, and the wicked for their iniquity. And I will cause the arrogancy of the proud to cease, and will lay low the haughtiness of the terrible.
The catastrophic situation is playing out in Australia.
The smoke visible from space.
A New Year's Eve crisis going into 2020.
People are telling us this is the worst they've ever seen. Fires have burned more intensely, more ferociously. They seem to have a mind of their own.
Satellite imagery is showing that Arctic sea ice is at its lowest levels on record.
In northern Siberia, it hit 100.4 degrees.
We are looking right now at the all-time record heat for the month of June.
A catastrophic Category 4 hurricane bearing down in the U.S.
We could be looking at a majority of the surrounding communities flooded with upwards of 9 to 20 feet of water.
The two largest wildfires in Colorado history are burning dangerously close, just miles apart.
On the heels of what has been a historic and deadly wildfire season, the winds fanning these flames are expected to last another 24 hours.
Friends' homes are on fire and you're watching it with your eyes.
And it is officially the busiest hurricane season ever on record.
And the few people we met who chose to stay behind here, they stayed behind because they're simply overwhelmed. They're tired of running.
Just no rest in this record year for the hurricane-battered Gulf Coast.
Stronger storms, more storms, heavier rain. Our climate is changing.
What you're seeing is divine intervention. Divine intervention to stop the beast from destroying everything that the Lord created. And there's no other way but to use these elements to destroy them. The Most High is upset. He's angry because what they done with the earth. Check this out.
For I will send into her pestilence, and blood into her streets. And the wounded shall be judged in the midst of her by the sword upon her every side. And they shall know that I am the Lord. The Lord is slow to anger and great in power, and will not at all acquit the wicked. The Lord hath his way in the whirlwind and in the storm, and the clouds are the dust of his feet. For a fire is kindled in my anger, and shall burn unto the lowest hell, and shall consume the earth with her increase, and set on fire the foundations of the mountains.
For 4 days, fountains of fire have violently spewed hundreds of feet high, rivers of bright red lava pouring into pools and engulfing homes, 20-foot-high waves of molten rock consuming and covering neighborhoods in their path.
And I will bring it forth, saith the Lord of hosts, and it shall enter into the house of the thief, and into him that sweareth falsely by my name, and it shall remain in the midst of his house, and shall consume it with the timber thereof and the stones thereof.
So I hope it's clear that the earth being polluted, yes, it is a bad thing. And the only way to stop this is to destroy the wicked off of the face of the earth. And this is why the Lord is intervening. And this is only the beginning. It's for the ones that have their eyes open to see that the Bible is not a comic book, that all the things written will come to pass, and these things will lead up to the final destruction. We ask that you like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment